Question: how do we get the youth more involved in local government? It is by having and facilitating discussions like the one I am about to have on the podcast episode today with a young 19-year-old student from Philadelphia, college student, talking about the Philadelphia's mayoral race. It was quite interesting. And he alluded to that as I asked him the question directly: how do we get young people involved, and what's happening with the mayor's race in Philadelphia? And what are some of his concerns, so on and so forth. Welcome to another episode of the Neoliberalism podcast. I am Ronaldo McKenzie, and I have with me
My name is Minard.
Minard, and it will pick you up from where you are. Minard, tell me, I was asking you some questions. Yeah, Minard is a young guy. He's not 20 yet, but will be 20 soon. And I wanted to find out from him, it's election time. The mayor's race is ahead of us, and there's been much talk. They've been having quite a few mayors conferences or events to expose people to the mayors. Now, tell me, what is your interest in politics, and do you know that there is a mayor's race coming up in Philadelphia?
Obviously I can see all the signs. I can see from like a mile, like all the new ads that are coming out. Like it's one ad I keep seeing of this one guy saying like maybe they'll lynch him. That one ad that I keep seeing. So I'm aware that,
Yes.
that there's a mayor,
Yes.
campaigns are going on right now. But as in what's into politics, I've never been into politics.
Yes.
Never really stuck my nose inside that part of the world. Maybe when I'm older, I'll get more of an interest in it. But I would say right now, I truthfully don't even really know the names of the people running.
Yes,
I know that there are some people.
That's, to be honest, I still struggle in terms of who is running, and I teach a college class and I study politics and so on and so forth.
Literally, the closest thing I get to politics is like watching like a 3-minute ad on YouTube, and then that's good enough for me.
That's a conversation I had yesterday with a young man, 18 or 19-year-old, Minard or Renard, I can't remember his name, but I think he's from Haiti, or his parents are from Haiti, or grandparents. He's a first or second generation American, but he lives here, and a wonderful conversation. And I wanted to find out, and we're going to be doing a series of episodes looking at what young people are saying about the upcoming mayoral race. How involved are young people in politics today, especially in local government? Say, for example, in their city government, in their communities. There is a mayor's race coming up. There has been several different public events, community events with mayors, and with mayors where people had an opportunity to learn about the mayors and who they are and their platforms. But still, people are not completely aware of who these people are. So I asked Renard, who is 19-year-old or 20-year-old, and I asked him how aware he is about the mayor's race in Philadelphia. One, whether or not he's going to be voting, and how involved he is in politics. I asked not only of himself, I asked him of his peers, the people in your age group, your friends, and so on. How involved are they? And of course, he will say that they're not as involved. And it's quite a powerful and an interesting interview, because it's going to say the only awareness he has of politics and the mayor's race and what's going on in politics is through ads. Okay, he would say that, and probably a YouTube video that might pop up, but that's it. But then towards the end, he talks about how we can get other young people and himself involved. He even said that after we had this beautiful conversation, he said, you know what? And I'm using Trump's word here, beautiful. After we had that very insightful and powerful conversation, rap session, He said, you know what, I am going to vote in this year's mayor's race. This is, and I said to him, how can we get young people involved? And he said, we have to begin to have the conversation, like the conversation I had with him. I just started having a conversation. We don't have to have elaborate things, okay? We need parents and adults and people in communities to start generate and facilitate discussions with young men and young women again in communities, in their families, and so on and so forth. But this was quite powerful. Listen to the interview, or to the rap session. It was about 10 minutes. We talked a lot about not just the mayor's race, but what he is doing as a young man, and generally what's really going on, and some stuff touched a little bit on what's going on in society. But this was a powerful interview, and that's what's coming up next. We'll have the rest of it for you right after we have the intro music. I am Ronaldo McKenzie, and welcome to another episode of the Neoliberalism podcast. Stay tuned for more. Have you ever voted before? Did you vote last year?
No, but I definitely registered to vote. When I was going to my school, actually, when I was on campus,
yeah.
This group of women came up to me, and they were just coming up to everyone saying, "Are you registered? Make sure you register." I had time, my next class was going to start in like 30 minutes, so I registered real quick. So I am registered, but I've never really done it. I guess I never really thought about doing it. Yeah. Maybe, hey, maybe this year I'll give it a shot. Think about some candidates. I mean, next year is 2024. Yeah. I feel like that's when politics gets a little bit more real for me. Because choosing a president is a little bit more important than just choosing a leader. But at least that's how I see things from my viewpoint. I know it'll probably change when I get older.
When you get older,
yeah.
Okay, because the mayors they affect the local. They make decisions that affect you at the local level, or let's say the micro level. So therefore, in a sense, they help to determine what's going on in terms of local government and how funds are spent locally in the city. Are there any issues happening in the city right now that you would want the mayor to address? What is the top 3 issues? Parking.
I don't even drive, but parking is an issue in the city.
Okay.
It's absolutely mad. It's just everywhere. Very sloppily enforced.
But okay.
A lot of things don't make sense. I guess what else in the city? Prices.
What other issue you would want to have them tackle? The mayor.
Yes, I'm not always down in the city. I used to always go into the city a lot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And where do you reside now?
I reside more uptown. I'm kind of bad with directions necessarily, so I apologize for anyone listening. I live more uptown.
Yes.
So it takes a little longer for me to get to the city. I usually just go to the city to go watch a movie, but I guess anytime I'm up there, what I've noticed personally is probably is just fixing a lot more of the homeless situation up there.
Yeah.
Because it's just getting bad. You can't even go a block without seeing homeless people starving.
So is that one of the other issues you want them to tackle?
Probably building more reception or facilities or something to guide them to. get them guiding towards the right place.
This is interesting. Say that last point again.
Like,
You want
like
them
a
to what?
facility in the city for them to be guided to. Like, hey, it's this facility. You're homeless. Go to this. We can head you towards the next Salvation Army or something to help them.
Yeah.
I wish it was more something like that.
Right.
Instead of just leaving them out there. I'm not saying obviously we'll instantly fix the problem, but
Yes.
definitely one solution to it.
Have you been to Kensington?
Huh?
Have you been to Kensington?
Oh, you mean Kensington here?
In Philadelphia.
Oh
yes.
yeah, definitely. I've been to Kensington. Yes.
That is a humanitarian crisis, Kensington,
Yes.
which I don't know if people are talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Kensington is in Philadelphia. It's a humanitarian crisis.
Yes.
It's a lot of homelessness. It's the opioid crisis. It is
Kensington has been going down for a very long time.
Yes.
And everyone knows this, but I really don't think they're trying to do anything about it.
And I said to people, if you want to see what algorithms, if AI is the future of this world, then if you want to see one of the consequences of AI, just go to Kensington, because Kensington is the product of Kensington. The reason why we have Kensington is because the industrialization.
Yes.
And if you read the book Righteous Dope Fiend, and start or look at research around why we have areas like opioid infested areas with high hopelessness,
The funny thing is,
homelessness.
I didn't even know it was getting that bad. Like, obviously I knew drug dealing was getting bigger and bigger in that area, but like I didn't even know opioids was even a thing down in Kensington.
Oh yes.
Like, now this is even putting some knowledge on me. I didn't know
It's
that
the
was-
capital
that
of
was
the
happening
opioid crisis in
that
Philadelphia.
much in Philadelphia.
Yes, it's the capital. Kensington is the capital of the opioid crisis. So one of the questions I would want to ask my mayor: what are you guys going to do with It's as if they don't. It's as if they don't. The politicians and the strategists and law enforcement and they don't know what to do. And you have all these schools, they have and hospitals and facilities, top schools in Philadelphia. What are they doing? I don't know if the academic centers are doing anything. But
the thing is, I always feel like Philadelphia has like a lot of things that we can pull certain funding, certain resources from to help build up different areas around the city, but we just choose not to.
That's what local government do. Just so you know,
Yes.
when we have a president, the president.
I would love for them to obviously, as you said, fix that huge problem, especially in Kensington, that opioid crisis.
Oh yes,
it's really hurting us, and that should be something that we should be focusing on. I will hope they do. In my small knowledge of politics, I would hope that's something that most of these mayors are looking forward to tackle that challenge.
I think there's about 12 people running though for mayor in Philly. I think
people.
Jeff Brown. I know about Jeff Brown. And there's an Asian woman. I don't remember her name. Then there's another one called there's a Sharonda or Cheryl Jones, who is an African American woman. And those are the only three I know. But I'm quite sure there are 12. I'm not too familiar either. Yes, but what do you hear from others of your peers, like your age? How interested are they?
Again, I would say when it comes to friends, most of my friends don't really get into politics either.
Yeah.
We're just, like we like to call ourselves, we're just dickheads, just chilling, just doing a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah.
We're young, we got time to. And I would say when it comes to politics, the person I'll probably look towards and most people are interested in that topic would be one of my brothers called Travis.
Yeah.
He definitely knows a lot more about this world than I do. So if I do have questions about something like that, I would ask him about it.
Yeah.
Now, I obviously just said I don't really have interest in it, so I haven't really been asking him. Right now, I'm getting the most knowledge that I have been getting this past year about politics. Just taking this far talking to you.
Yes,
so
yes.
This is actually really knowledgeable.
Okay. What do you think that the society can do to just get more young people involved
do their
in politics?
research. I feel like that's a good start to anything. what I'm saying? Do your research.
Yes.
Know who you want. And then once you know that heart and know what you want, create a wave. Create people who's willing to get that person that you think is the best or the most right for this city.
Yeah.
Get them in that position to do the right things, because nothing's going to happen if no one's doing it.
No, I'm just saying, what do you? How can we get other young people involved? What can we do as a city?
I would say ways like this. Catch them in there. Trust me.
Okay. Like, or, how we are having a conversation with you.
You have to bring someone to your conversation sometimes. A lot of people don't really want to make conversation about things they don't really care about. Sometimes you gotta, give them an interest.
Yes.
Like, hey, do you care about the things that happen in the city? Name things that they like to do that may be in jeopardy due to a certain area.
Right.
So that's a good way to get young people involved. Because young people, just like me, aren't really worried about politics.
But just by having this conversation with you now,
definitely.
You might probably leave here thinking about, okay, let me do some reading.
Now
Let me go on my phone.
When I see those ads on
TV,
now I'm paying attention just a little bit more.
And what? Oh, nice.
Things like this definitely helps. You know what I'm saying? It may not 100% change the person's minds on their view, but it definitely opens up and that's a start.
Yes. Wow, this was quite an interest. Are we going in here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, we are talking with
Maynard.
And what is it that you want to do when you finish with school?
Plumbing, computer engineer. I've been working through it. I have a lot of bumps in my road. This life, so it's a little complicated, but I've been trying to get there. About like a freshman in college. Right now I'm a manager at Chipotle.
Yes.
Making okay most of my money, so I can't be that mad at life.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
It was a pleasure talking
to you. Ronaldo Mackenzie, and we spoke for 10 minutes. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Neoliberalism podcast. We will continue to have discussions like these on the podcast as we break and begin this new series, talking with young people and people of all demographics as it relates to the upcoming mayoral race, or you could be in another city somewhere in the world. What is going on in your city? How involved and aware are you? What about the young people? So that's very important. And so I found this quite powerful, quite interesting, speaking with Minard. And we are doing this series all the way up to May 16th. This is the first in a series of podcast episodes we will do all the way up to May 16th about Philly's mayor's race and popular opinion among the various demographics and generations. That what was quite chilling and telling was when I had asked Minard how aware he is. He said, "I know that one guy is running, but no, I'm not really involved. I only know from what I see on TV ads that as much as, and not many young people watch TV ads today. But he provided a solution. He said by having discussions like these, and so I will have discussions like these, more discussions." Especially sometimes young people, when it comes down to serious topics and subjects, you find that young people will be more willing to rap with you and talk with you and develop and generate, and you can generate interest among our young people within very small groups. That's why I was a big proponent and fan of mentoring. What is mentoring? Mentoring is to invest yourself. It's a relational experience where one person invests in another. Yes. But it's a give and take relationship. Both the mentor and the mentee are both affected by the mentoring relationship, and it's usually within very small groups. So it could be one-on-one. Especially back in the days, we used to have an apprenticeship program. Many young people were become part of the professional working life because of the apprenticeship. Apprenticeship was powerful. Now we have students sitting in classroom, and many people can't relate to that. And the way in which society is changing. Elon Musk said that in a tweet some time ago. We have to change the road systems in order for us to have fully functioning self-driving cars. But what about what's going on in education? We have to change how we think about education, especially with the technology that we have now. We don't need kids to be sitting in a classroom for 10 and 12 hours. Okay, people don't need to be at work for 10 and 12 hours. I mean, and people don't need to have one job, okay, for 50 years. And there is much dynamism happening in society, and as a society we have to look at how we do things and find ways in which we can adjust as a society to facilitate the changes. Okay, we don't need to do the same things if we become so sophisticated. Okay, in terms of learning is important. People are more exposed. We talk about socialization. Parents were always part of the socialization process along with the church and so on. But of course, technology is a big part of socialization, and people learn by what they see as well and what they're exposed to. Okay, and the more exposed you are to a certain stimuli, is the more you become numb to it. You're affected by that, okay, by that stimuli or something. There is a disaffect. But we have to have serious conversations, and we need to sometimes go back to where we're coming from. We capture this one-on-one apprenticeship program, where older men and older women would take on a young woman and a young boy, and they would train them and empower them and invest in them, their skills and their knowledge. But there is some kind of divorce from that happening because of capitalism or neo-capitalism. But as we go to look forward to the 21st century, society is changing, and we have to, and the older generation, and people like myself, I'm 44 years old. What we have to develop, we have to be more forward thinking in terms of how we do things, how we facilitate learning. Learning have to change. We can't change. We cannot. People, okay. Learning have to change. People are exposed to more information now. I said to somebody recently, you're not going to have any Rosetta Stone, because you're going to have that Google Translate where people can talk and you hear in real time what they're saying in another language. 21st century, there's much happening. But you find that chatbots are now writing papers for students. I know they're trying to mitigate that. How are they going to mitigate that? How are they going to go around that? The younger people who are using these things have more intelligence than the older people who are trying to stop this from happening, in a sense. It's different, but the world is changing. But one of the things that we have to get people to be more involved in, especially our young people, is the decision making in our society. If they want to be part of the change, if they want to create change in terms of how we do things in society, then they have to also get involved in the decision making. And one of the ways we can do so is by having one-on-one conversation, facilitating conversations like these with young people, which will generate interest. At the end, the young man said to me, "I will vote." And that was great. That was powerful. Objective achieved. This is the Neoliberalism podcast. And I have an announcement. Neoliberalism, my book, Neoliberalism, Globalization, Income Inequality, Poverty and Resistance, was switched back to Ingram Spark, who will remain as our global print and distribution partners. They were providing us a better deal. And my second book, Neoliberal Globalization Reconsidered, Neo-Capitalism and the Death of Nations, is being reviewed by Haymarket Publishing. As soon as we get word as to whether or not they will, what the next steps will be, we will announce it, because this would be a breakthrough for us. The Neoliberal podcast is produced by the Neoliberal Corporation. We are serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges by making popular what was the monopoly. Visit us at theneoliberal.com and ronaldocmckenzie.com. And please donate to us by going to anchor.fm/theneoliberal/support. Anchor, anchor.fm/theneoliberal/support, or go to the Spotify platform for podcasters. Now, send us a feedback, share us with your friends, and subscribe for free on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podvine, P-Adverb, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, so on and so forth. And please email me at ronaldocmckenzie@gmail.com. This is the Neoliberal Realm Podcast. What good?